Hello. I am going to demonstrate quickly how I make sauerkraut, fermented cabbage that's super full of probiotics and so good for you. I have been making this for, I don't know, last year and having a lot of fun just experimenting with different combinations. One of my favorite ones is using purple cabbage because it has so much vitamin C in it, quite a bit more than green cabbage, and grated beets and grated ginger. But I've also done just plain old green cabbage and sea salt and just let that ferment on my counter for 3 days, and that's just amazing. Sauerkraut has so many awesome probiotics. I've heard it say that if you buy those fancy, well, not fancy, but I guess they're expensive, probiotic pills from the health food store or online or wherever. Anyway, the kind that cost like 30 to 50, 60 bucks for a jar, one of those capsules doesn't have as much probiotics as like a fourth a cup of sauerkraut. So that's amazing. So we are talking living raw sauerkraut. And it's just so simple. The basic steps, you start with cabbage, and you're going to just finely chop it up, put it into a bowl. This I just did 1 medium cabbage. I've got Himalayan sea salt, 4 teaspoons, about 4 teaspoons, and you're just going to kind of mix it up and massage it, and this helps the water, the liquid that's in the cabbage, to release. The salt breaks it down, and I've read before you kind of have to really pound it to get all the juice out, but honestly, you really don't have to spend too much time doing that if you just let it have a little rest. So I will set that aside and let it rest for about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to actually make a Korean style one with the Savoy cabbage. I've got just a small medium head of Savoy cabbage I'm going to chop up. And also daikon, which is a radish, and really not expensive. Here are the 2 that I have, and they were like 50 cents each, which is amazing. And radish is so alkalizing for your body. It helps, when you're sick, a lot of times you have a very acidic alkalinity in your body, which promotes the growth of bad things like cancer, and so you don't want that most of the time. A lot of times the things that we eat can be very acidic, and so anything you can do, add more alkalinity. Another thing that the Korean style of sauerkraut has that's different than just regular cabbage sauerkraut is the spices, and I didn't know this until I started researching it, but most kimchis have some kind of fish in them, fish oil, oyster sauce, all sorts of, even like raw squid, so that is really traditional. I didn't use that because oyster sauce has MSG in it, and I just thought, I'm just going to kind of omit that. I don't have any raw squid, so I won't be doing that. But one thing that you can do also, and it also has like sugar, a lot of the recipes that I saw, but my husband really loves the kimchi kind of style, and so one thing you can do is add some kind of fruit. Like I'm going to add some frozen white pineapple. I have in my freezer for my friend, and that will give a little bit of like a complex flavor, acidity, tartness but not sugar, not like real regular sugar. And traditionally kimchi will have daikon, carrot, green onions, the Savoy cabbage, and grated garlic. There's so many different recipes, but those are kind of like a lot of the ones that I saw were basic, because just like people can make sauerkraut with all different things added into it, it's the same with kimchi. Very, very different varieties. Oh, and I forgot to say the red pepper chili, or some kind of hot chili. And so I have a friend who makes ghost pepper chili, or ghost pepper hot sauce, and ghost peppers are crazy, crazy, crazy hot. I am not going to be adding, like getting my own peppers and mincing them. I'm going to add a few, like half a teaspoon of their ghost pepper hot sauce to this, for my husband to make it spicy, and he will love that. But yeah, what you're gonna want to get is some jars that it really can be this simple, just a mason jar with a lid. And I've read, like, some people say that you want to push down the cabbage under the liquid, and find something to weigh it down, otherwise it's going to be ruined. Well, I push my cabbage down and pack it down as much as I can, and it is never been a problem for me to have it go bad. So I'm thankful for that. Alright, so this is another medium cabbage worth. So I'm going to do 4 teaspoons, and I'm going to find my garlic and grate it up in here while this sits, after I massage the salt into it, and I'll get my white pineapple and add it to there. But I wanted to go back to that other purple cabbage and smush it up a little bit more and pack it down into jars and show you how easy it is to do this. Okay, so easy, so easy. Oh, this is gonna be so good. I love it. I love having all these different cultured things, and then you can just play with them and do whatever you want. My last batch I did was turmeric. I did turmeric, daikon, grated ginger, and green cabbage. And I can show you that. It turned out really amazing. And turmeric is a really good anti-inflammatory herb, and it adds a beautiful yellow color. And I just had some fresh turmeric root that I just grated into there and mixed up. So already this is released so much of its juices. Look at that, dripping just from the salt. And it's amazing that this cultures and turns into some awesome life-giving food just with salt. That's it. That's the salt, and then the natural things that are in the cabbage and in the air just cause this great fermented food, and it tastes like really tart. Okay, so I take my jar and I put boiling water in it, and then I rinse it out, and that just ensures that it's not going to interfere with anything. Just stuff this cabbage in there, and when I get it like all the way packed to the top, then I put my hand in there and I just smush it down as hard as I can, and you can see all the little bubbles. Come on, mama. And look at that, it compacted. Sorry, my whooping cough. Still here a little bit. Just when I haven't drank water in a little bit. Alright, so you see that juice? Look at that. That is so awesome. All of that great juice. And this is actually of the cabbage is going to fit in this one jar, but I don't want to pack it any higher than this because while it ferments, it's going to expand. So I'm really trying to compact the cabbage all together to create a little bit of a pool of juice on the top. And you can see there's things floating up, but it's minor. It's mostly compacted and there's just a few things that are floating on the top. And I can like come and if this starts to kind of like bubble up and fill to the top, I can kind of come and push it down. But I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to put a loose lid on it. I don't want to tighten it really high because I've actually had like my metal ones kind of like slightly explode and like ooze when I fill them a little bit too high, because this is going to start activating. It's amazing. So I'm going to set this on my counter for 3 days. And you're going to notice these little bubbles that kind of come on up, and it's going to begin to culture and ferment and become delicious. It's better even the longer it ages, but I'll probably give this 3 days. That's just how long I like to leave it. I do live where it's warm out. It's probably, you know, like 80 degrees, 75 to 80 degrees. And so if you live somewhere colder, it could take longer to sit out. So just taste it at like 3 days because it's a preference thing. But you do want it to be nice and tart because that's going to be super good for you. And then put it in the fridge, and it just lasts for a long time. I think that is it.